Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Robert Thomas Abina, Eleanor Grace Alexander, George Berkeley Alger, Richard Dick Ambruso, Peter Newell Anderson, Arthur Edward Bader Jr., Clarence Eugene Baker, Thomas Leslie Snyder Ball, Lester Irwin Becker, Griffith Bronson Bedworth, Raymond Bernal Jr., Edward Orville Bilsey, George Allison Bird III, Robert Allen Blissett, Robert Arthur Bojanic, John Austin Bosom, Douglas Stephen Bridgers, Bobby Jean Brown, Larry Graham Buford, Jimmy Ray Burke, Frank W. Chadwick Jr., James Edward Cherry, William Jerome Clark III, Charles Robert Coyley, Robert Lee Colberth Jr., William Thomas Dameron, Donnie Landaro, Darrell Lee Davis, Arturo Delgado Marin, Donald Allen R. Damond, Rafael Angel Diaz, Eugene Edwards, Thomas James Elkwell, Frederick Lee Fields, Richard Allen Fitz, Robert Lynn Fox Jr., Gene Freeman, Lawrence Casey Garrett, Donald Willis Gebhardt, Robert Sampson Gear, James Edward Glisson, William Riley Godwin, Donald Lewis Golden, William E. Groves, Gary Lee Grow, Tom Habada, James Hayes Hall, John William Hartman, William Bryan Hayes, Sherlin Andrew Hyman, Jeffrey David Hounshell, Ronald Eugene James, Jerry Wayne Jefferson, Thomas Howard Jones, James Dale Jones, Russell Jones Jr., Sterling M. Jones Jr., Wiley E. Josh, Roger Gale Justice, James Kennedy, Roger Ray Kearns, Donald Lee Kingery, Anthony Edward Kasucki, Joseph Kresick Jr., Gary Russell Mabon, Bert Otto Lawrence, Donald Chester Leapick, Bobby Dale Likens, Norman F. Loeffler Jr., Lonnie Jean Martin, Thomas Joseph McKellen, Dennis Dale McKee, Nelson William McKenna, John Joseph McNabb, Michael Hammond Mine, Leon Peter Miller, Jose Luis Mirandez Ortiz, Robert Jean Moore, Thomas Dewey Moore Jr., Philippe Morales, Bruce John Morey, Herbert James Neese, Benjamin Roy Nelson Jr., David Leonard Nicholson, Philip Arthur Ogas, Jerome Edwin Olmsted, Hedwig Diane Orlovsky, James Keith Oxley, Clarence Leroy Palmer, Tyrone Sidney Pennell, Donald David Pano, Robert Kenneth Parker, Larry Thomas Parker, Patrick James Paulich, Dale Christopher Fearson, Stephen Richard Porcella,
Lee Victor Porden Jr., Stephen Gould Richardson, Kenneth Lee Robertson, Jack Rogers, Claude Benton Rogers, Lloyd Hans Rode, James Norman Royal, Klaus Dieter Schultz, Dean Richard Schilling, Kenneth R. Shoemaker, Jr., Clifton Bradley Smith, Dennis Michael Smith, Dennis Smith, Jr., Lawrence David Snyder, Raymond Clark Stacks, James Alvin Stager, James Doyle Stokes, Laffey Franklin Strait, George Steph Straczewski, John Curtis Stringer II, Samuel Camus Toomey III, Robert Eugene Vandergriff, Harry Corneli Vanderkloot, Harry Melbourne Vandiver, Jr., Jimmy Lee Ward, Sam Dixon Warlick, King David Washington, Wilmer Watson, Teddy Waxman, Libert James Weldon, Jr., Vernon E. Wetham, Allen Eugene White, Edward Louis Williamson, William D. Wilson, Richard Ogden Wolfe, Calvin Edward Young, Stanley Joseph Urovitz, Joseph Bernard Zeal.